Senho Tree from the Institute for Policy Studies provides us with the historical understanding of what happens when there's arbitrary denial of the right to life in the context of drug operations.
Thank you. There are many reasons that why we don't let drug warriors play judge, jury, and executioner. And one of them, one of the main reasons, is they keep killing civilians, innocent civilians. I'll give you two examples. The first one was one of the early cases I worked on in 2001. It happened on April 20th, 2001, actually, in the Amazon over Peru, where CIA contractor plane was identifying suspected drug flights under the Air Bridge Denial Program, where they used to shoot planes out of the sky, suspected planes. And they fingered a suspicious float plane flying over the Amazon, and it didn't respond to radio signals. And so they radioed it in to the Peruvian Air Force, who comes in and does the shoot down over their territory. And by the time the fighters arrived, the CIA contractors realized this probably wasn't a suspected drug flight. This wasn't behaving that way. And they urgently radioed the Peruvian fighters, don't shoot, whatever you do, don't shoot. And of course, they opened fire. And what happened was that they ended up killing a U.S. missionary. Her name was Veronica Bowers, along with her infant daughter, Chastity Bowers. It was quite a scandal and a tragic drug war killing. Um, Congressman Pete Hoekstra at the time, who represented these people, was a very outspoken critic of this program, and he's currently ambassador to Canada. So people might want to ask if you had any comments about that. I'll drop a link to this video. It's important to see the actual shoot down and what happened in the chat when I'm done. The other case I want to talk about is what happened in Honduras in 2012 in the town of Ahuas. There's a good expose from Charlie Savage in the New York Times. I'll also drop a link to that, where the DEA, working with Honduran authorities, identified what they thought was a a drug smuggling boat. It was a water taxi. It was at night. People travel at night. It's blazing hot in the tropics, so if you want to make a long boat journey, it makes sense to do it at night. And they opened fire by mistake from helicopters and from ground positions. They ended up killing four of the people in this boat. Two of them were pregnant, so I think under Honduran law that counts as six murders. And they try to cover it up afterwards. So that's why we don't let them play judge, jury, and executioner. I think what concerns me about this precedent is that the administration is normalizing extrajudicial killings. And it's not a far jump, not a great leap to bring it back to the domestic context, where if a police officer is chasing a suspect out, for 2 or 3 blocks, and it's a hot day and they're tired, and well, I could have chased them 5 more blocks, but I'm tired and I didn't feel like doing it, so I just took out my service pistol and shot him in the back. Now, we know this happens in policing all the time, but they're talking about it openly as to make this official doctrine. No one would say this in a court of law because you would lose your case. But to say this on the international stage, that we can execute people, summarily execute them by hellfire missile without presenting any evidence, is outrageous. And I think what is seductive to this administration, in particular, about this method is that it's the ultimate power of the vengeful God of the Old Testament. All right, to be able to smite your enemies from the heavens with a bolt of lightning, like Zeus from the heavens. And that is, I think, one of the most disturbing aspects of this. Also, this is not an uncommon form of transportation in these regions. In a lot of coastal communities, there are not a lot of roads. You travel by boat. And I've been to these estuaries and these places for instance, Southwest Colombia, where much of the cocaine comes from. Most of it comes up the Pacific coast, by the way, not the Atlantic or Caribbean route to the U.S. But everything moves by boat. If you're selling your coconuts, if you're smuggling your coca, if you're buying a microwave, it's going to move by boat. And in the situation in Venezuela, where gas sells for 13.2 cents a gallon as of Labor Day, notoriously subsidized gas prices, it's not a difficult thing to strap together several outboard motors and have a large piñero, the fishing boat that was used, and to travel. They think at the time, I think Rubio originally said that he thought that they were going to Trinidad or Tobago. and withdrew that comment after the administration contradicted him. But that would make sense. It's a short run, and to have 11 people in that boat is very, very suspicious. Normally, in a drug smuggling boat, you have a crew of 2 or 3, or the minimum necessary to move your product, and you want lots of room for the product. Plus, you wouldn't make sense to go to the United States in an open vessel like that, when you're on the high seas. You could be flooded and downpours and that sort of thing. So that's basically what I wanted to say, and I'll drop some links in the chat. Thank you.